Hi, we're going to solve by quadratic formula today. Sometimes when you have a quadratic, something with an exponent of 2, and you don't want to factor it, and you don't want to complete the square, and you don't want to graph it, you have a fourth option, the quadratic formula. So we need to make sure that our problem is in standard form, meaning highest exponent to lowest exponent. The numbers a, b, and c, the number in front of x squared, 1, in front of x, 2, and all by itself, c. We want to take those three numbers, and we're going to plug them into this big, ugly formula. This is called the quadratic formula. That's what you need. Write it on all your papers, draw a big box around it, keep that thing. We need that. So let's see what kind of answers we can get with it. Before I do that first one, I need to make it look like this, or rather, I need to make that problem say equals 0. So let's move that 12 to the other side by subtracting 12. Now, I like to figure out what is A, what is B, what is C. So I like to write all that down. So A equals 3, B equals 5, C equals negative 12. Now I'm going to take these three, plug them into this quadratic formula up here. So x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared, which is 5 squared, minus 4 times 3 and negative 12, all divided by 2 times a. So let's simplify here. Negative 5 plus minus 5 squared gives me 25. Negative and negative gives me a positive. 4 and 3 is 12, and 12, that's 144. All over 6. I can take that one more step further and say negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 169 and 6. Okay, so that's all the big math stuff. Now, there's one more thing, something new now that we're taking out of this is I need to simplify this. So that's going to give us 13. When I rewrite that, negative 5 plus or minus 13 over 6, I'm now going to come up with two possible answers for x. And I get that by using this plus and the minus sign. I'm going to do two separate things, two separate answers. The first one, I'm going to say negative 5 plus 13. Negative 5 plus 13, which is going to give us 8. 8 divided by 6. You don't want to leave it as 8 over 6, so you're going to say 4 over 3. So 4/3 is one answer. Then we're going to do it again, and we're going to say negative 5 minus 13. So we'll come up with negative 18 over 6, which will be negative 3. There's your two answers. So if we were to go back to our graph, we'd cross the x-axis at negative 3. We'd cross the x-axis at 4/3, which is 1 1/3 in the positive. All right, let's do this again with this middle problem. I need to make this look like standard form, so let's take that 10x and move it over by adding 10x. And when I get that, I end up rewriting and getting x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. Find my a, b, and c. A is 1, b is 10, c is 25. Okay, we have our three numbers. Let's substitute them into the quadratic formula. So x equals negative b, negative 10 plus minus b squared, 10 squared minus 4 times 1, 25, all over 2 times 1. Let's start simplifying everything up. Negative 10 plus or minus 10 times 10, which is 100, minus 4 times 25, which is 100, all over 2. And one more time, negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 0, all over 2. Okay, so if we were to rewrite this, we're going to have negative 10 plus or minus 0 over 2. Now our two answers, x equals, x equals. We need to use this plus minus symbol. So we're going to say negative 10 plus nothing. Negative 10 plus 0 is negative 10. Divided by 2, negative 5. Negative 10 minus nothing. Negative 10 minus 0, still negative 10 divided by 2, still negative 5. I came up with the same answer. I do not need to write both of them. I just need one. That's my final answer, x equals negative 5. What that looks like on the graph is basically you're going to have a parabola that just the vertex hits at negative 5. Just hits it at one spot. All right, one last one. We are already in standard form, so that's good. Let's figure out what A, B, and C is. A is 1, B is 2, C is 5. Let's take these three numbers, substitute them in. X equals negative 2 plus minus square root 2 squared minus 4. A is 1, C is 5, all over 2 times 1. And simplify. Negative 2 plus minus 4 minus 20 all over 2. Negative 2 plus minus square root negative 16 over 2. Okay, stop. So we have a problem here. Our problem is with that square root symbol. You've got a negative under there. There is no way up to this point we can solve this yet. So if you ever see that you have a negative under that square root, we have an answer, but that answer is going to be no solution. Why? Because our graph, if we were to graph it, will look something like that. And this parabola never crosses the x-axis. Because it never crosses, we get no solution. Whenever you have a negative underneath that square root, we stop and say, no solution. And that is solving using the quadratic formula.